Hey, Shalom, I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem El Shah, Shem El Kakudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work in truth, with sincerity. This is more of a news and brief, just two quick headlines, man. Showing you that this is starting to sound a lot more like what I like to hear, right? This is top White House advisors predict as many as 240,000 US deaths from coronavirus, right? So I believe he says 100 to 240,000, right? Which is a lot more. These numbers now are looking a lot more like regular flu. Because what is it? It's like 3 to 6 million people a year get infected. So 3 to 6 million people a year get a case of severe flu. Of those 300 to 600,000 die, right? So these numbers are looking now starting to look a lot more. I mean, if we actually do see that, because I don't even think we've reached 100 million deaths yet. Not 100 million, 100,000 deaths yet. I mean, we wish. We've got to be patient, man. We've got to wait for the Lord. But these are things, sign of things to come, and it's only gonna get worse. Right, it is only going to get worse. People, would you call it? People are saying, "Oh, get better on this. It'll get better." Nah, it ain't getting better. Right, this particular virus might go away, but something will come in its stead. Right, something else is gonna come after. If it ain't this or whatever, what have you, depending on how the elites want to play. It's ultimately depending how the Most High wants to play it. Right. And the next one is Dow dips 400 points on Tuesday, capping its worst first quarter ever. Right? So, the word of the year, unprecedented, man. It look more unprecedented stuff. So it says, U.S. stocks slumps Tuesday with the Dow enduring its worst first quarter ever as the coronavirus pandemic battered huge swathes of the global economy. Right here, you got pictures of like aircraft, one behind the other, side by side, just on the runway. Why? Because people ain't flying. People can't fly, even if they wanted to. Right? In certain parts of the world. Right? You got 1.3 billion people in quarantine. Being not quarantined, but being forced to stay at home over there in India. Right? 1.3 billion people, and then adding that to the other people all around the world being told to stay at home. Right? This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right? So, we're starting to see these prophecies coming to pass. The Lord is starting to, roll the ball. Things are starting to move quicker. Right? Since the beginning of the year, things haven't, things have just been going from day one. Right? We've just been seeing, would you call it, the skirmish between Iran and America, right? But the thing is, all while that was going on, something else was brewing, right? Something between something between in Wuhan that was brewing all along. That's why it's called COVID-19, because it started back end of 2019, right? So everyone was worried, oh my God, World War III, World War III. Then nothing happened, then boom. Oh yeah, by the way, right? And then now it's taken over the world, and then be rest assured, once this is done, something else is gonna come. Because what does the scripture say? I will smite. In fact, let's get it. This is Second Ezra's 5th. Where is it? Let me go straight to it. Smite Egypt as before. Right, Second Ezra 15 and 11. Right, it says, start from 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Right? Because Jake's been, so the Lord has timelines, time sets. And as we are approaching the end of Esau's time, right, we're approaching the time of Jacob's deliverance. Right, so the Lord is starting to do certain things like, okay, cool, that time for Israel being in captivity in the land of America, which is spiritually Egypt. Right, that is coming to an end now. right? So the Lord is starting to do stuff to basically, create the circumstances where this destruction can happen, so that the children of Israel can be delivered, right? And from all four corners of the earth where we are scattered, right? It says, I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the lands thereof, right? So America's going to be smitten with plagues, man, plural, and the ultimate plague being that ICBM nuclear missile. Right, you read of that. I ain't bought this one out ages. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that are fought against Jerusalem. Right, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right, and the only thing that's able to, make your flesh consume away while you're standing on your feet, we're basically implying something that's quick, is that ICBM. Right, you look at, for instance, Ebola. If you get Ebola and it's melting you, right, you got to be in quarantine in a bloody plastic tube. Right, you seen it with that plastic thing with the hole so that the doctors can touch you and shit. Right, so you on your back for that one, right? But this plague is gonna melt you away, right, with speed, right? And that's that ICBM, man, right? So I mean that's one of the things that the Lord is doing. But another thing, where is it? Here we go. Another thing, right? Ecclesiastes fact. Well, no, just get it. It says Second Ezra 16 and 18. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mourns, right? Yeah, so what we're seeing at the moment, this is just the beginning, right? Because you read through this chapter, right? It tells you that in that day, people's dead bodies are going to be cast out as dung. Right now, you can still have funerals, whether it's, being put in a mass grave or being cremated immediately or whatever, what have you, right? Whether that's what's happening or not, it doesn't it doesn't change the fact that there's a process that what you're going to be seeing in these last days is just dead bodies on the street, right? It says the beginning of famine and great death, right? So this is the beginning of great death, right? Like I was going into, those numbers, although better, ain't nothing yet, right? You got to remember the Lord is going to destroy the whole of America, right? Save, the 1/3 of Israel that are, elected for salvation, right? And the elect over there, right? So, more than 200 million people are going to die in that land. And that's just the reals. It says, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, right? What shall I do when these evils shall come? It says Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, right? It says in the day, and this is on the other point, right? The fact that the Dow, was it the Dow? I forget what index was Dow dips 400 points on Tuesday, capping its worst first quarter ever, right? So this is the markets are being rattled by this virus at the moment, right? This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because their work, and grinders is representing these, these workers, because people can't work. But did you see 3.3 million people last week, applying for, would they call it? Unemployment, registering for unemployment. 3.3 million people, right? The highest by far, right? People just out of work. Right? And what did the thing say? The Fed said that could be up to 50 million people that could end up being unemployed. And unemployment brings death. Right? It brings, it brings looting. It brings anarchy. Right? We got that many people ain't got a job. Right? People with big ass mortgages. Right? They're gonna have to, find a way to pay something to someone. Right? This is, and those that look out the windows be darkened. The forecasters, the financial forecasters. Right? It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right. So like I said, that was supposed to be like a news and brief, and everything. So yeah, as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till the next time. Shalom.